G'day. I posted a little comment on a conservative social media influencers page the other day. Got a lot of emotional response, so I figured I'd just address that because people are so divisive minded that people are just attacking and going, emotionally out of control. I think too quickly, prematurely, and there's just the dialogue isn't very informative. There's a lot of emotion, so. I think it's natural and normal and needs to be recognised, especially in light of the recent, say, Australia and global events of maybe socialist control and imposition of all that ideology that just attacked the white man in general, lumping every single white man as an immoral character, which isn't fair, not right, it's not true, and that socialist control that's being cast across, say, here in Australia. I think now there's a bit of an emotional backlash, and it's coming through in this Aussie patriot, recent movement. And with an upcoming march, I figured it's best to clear some things up. First of all, what's going on, that left control, the socialist control, hasn't been good, and there is a backlash, and there's an emotional, backlash from that. It needs to be recognised, and it's natural when it's happening. It's kind of karmic response embodied through these patriots in the conservative side of things here in Australia, and needs to be recognised. We'll say a little word of caution to that emotional roller coaster that certain social media influencers are riding and loving it and stoking it and provoking it and gaining more following or attention on it by inciting it. If you incite it too far, the emotions go too far, it can be turn into the abrasive end of things like just blank racism, and just anti-left. Doesn't matter what they stand for, just anti-left. It's kind of the same derangement that the lefties get stuck in with, like against Trump or whatever it was. There's an anti-left thing. People just jump on no matter what. So you stop thinking and you just attack and jump and oppose no matter what, anything left. And it's like, look, there's reasons to oppose the left, and you should. And the natural response needs to be articulated a bit better rather than just emotional outbursts and aggression just waved around, Firstly, I want to say, I'm not a lefty-minded person. So if you oppose the ideology, I'm a spiritual man. I don't like the ideologies that absolve the human nature of thinking and discerning for themselves. So lefty ideology, hammer and sickle, in the bin. I empathise with anyone that's been feeling off and down or directly disaffected from that socialist cultural wave that's been going on in Australia. White men have been attacked primarily, and that's going to have a long backlash, I think, to recover. So we're seeing it now. But I'm not hammer and sickle kind of fella. Having said that, and also just to back that up, I don't know much about Islam. I'm not Muslim or have any, affiliation with Islam or Muslim. I think everyone has got a journey and a path to go through, individually more so primarily, but they're collectively. So Islam, I don't know. I've only had, personal in my life, good interactions with Islamic and Muslim humans here in, say, in Sydney when I was back there. But I know of the bad apples, and I've heard a lot of stories and the general, currents of caution around that. But here, what we see, red flag in the US, in London or the UK, and I can see the sentiment rising about, assimilation, lacking of assimilation. And I think that's rightly so. People should be worried and understand what's happening in the UK is a bit of an alarm bell. What is the state? Is it dominantly Muslim now? There's a couple of things. It's not so unidimensional. It's not easy to understand. A couple of things is birth rate's down. So white Anglo people are just not reproducing. A lot of Muslims are. So what are you going to do about that? What's the answer to that? Also, there is a high emphasis on academic excellence through, say, a lot of Indians and Asian and even Muslim family and culture and nature, and it probably outdoes Aussies. What do you do about that? That's a tough question. I don't know what to do. But so just to understand all these things, I'm not like waving a flag for pro-Muslim Islam. I don't want Sharia law here. I want values of liberty here to carry on in Australia, like any patriot. However, that doesn't mean that because you hate lefties, you hate everything about lefties, what they go for. But the lefties align on anti-Palestine death, genocide, anti-genocide stuff. We don't need that. As a patriot, you can be against Israeli bombing on innocent kids. No matter what you think there's Islamic cells and network of psyops, Islamic or Muslim run. They might have networks. I don't know anything about that. They definitely should rally, be anti-opposing bombs on them. So I don't know what they're doing, but you don't need to be bombing for children ever as a patriot. Doesn't mean you're left or you're aligned with them. Doesn't mean you're pro-Muslim and you're ignorant to the impact of multiculturalism. Multiculturalism is about values first and foremost as well. It's not about ethnicity and race. It's about values. You care about liberty here, and any immigrants that come over, you want them to assimilate, and that is hold the same values. So you live the Aussie life the way you do it. Yeah, well, I saw the other there was a fellow, an Indian bloke, getting up on the anti-mass immigration protest, and he was getting booed, but he was saying all the things that the Aussie patriots are saying. He's worried about his lack of assimilation, and he's worried about mass migration impacts on everything, all the elements. But he was getting just booed and booed and booed. So that's not it. That sentiment is not it. It's not the colour or the ethnicity that's primary. It is values that's primary. And that takes a spiritual awareness or some spiritual intelligence. Unfortunately, Australia, the West, modern humans, we're not known for spiritual maturity, but that's what it's about first and foremost. So you have to understand these things in order to make inroads to unite and make the appropriate steps forward for, say, an Aussie patriot movement. So don't boo an Indian immigrant bloke that's up there saying, I'm worried about mass immigration and all the things that you guys are. What was the booing for? Just his colour of his skin. That's stupid. It's not. That's the ugly edge, the racist edge, which all you do is detract from momentum and unification for any proper Aussie patriot message. So yeah, I'm not in favour of any Sharia law or any Muslim majority and giving affordances to immigrants because of some woke political agenda. I don't like any of that. The UK is suffering that. So we should address these things, and it should be done appropriately, not aggressively, out of control emotionally. It should be spoken about and understood appropriately. First and foremost, it's values, not the skin colour or ethnicity. Same when it comes to opposing bombs on kids over in Palestine. It's not anti-Semitic. It's not their skin or it's the values, it's immorality that you stand up against. So as a patriot that cares for liberty, you don't just selectively say, well, I care for my own liberty, me and my family, but I'll walk across the street when I see someone getting bashed in front of me or a girl getting raped because I just care for my own liberty. Everyone stick up for this for yourselves. No, you care about it all. And if you've got courage, you'll stick up for someone getting raped in the street in front of you. You'll stick up for a bomb being dropped on a kid over there and just say it's wrong. You don't have to go and fight because Australia's government, unfortunately, is very... I'd like to see them stop their weakness and be independent, like what Aussie patriots want to be. We want to be independent, have an Aussie identity of our own and be proud of it. Not this stupid, puppeteered, idiotic, weak, cowardice state that kowtows to the United States in financial, political and military obligations. We are also, in turn, under the pins of Israeli Mossad, CIA, all that dynamic, it's ugly. We want to get rid of that. If you're an Aussie patriot, you want to stand up on your own identity as an Aussie, not go back to what it was once in the day, but we're always under the boot of the US obligations. They don't get to say, we're the greatest nation, and we just go, yeah, you're the greatest nation, and just bow over to them. We get to be Aussies and stand up as equal and go, we're great. We're proud of who we are. So that includes saying, yeah, don't bomb those kids. I don't know what we can do about it, but you say that, you stand up for it. That means a lot, okay? So I don't know how Aussie patriotism is being coalesced or directed to support Netanyahu's cabinet. Netanyahu he's not Aussie. His bombing of children ain't good. We don't stand for it. So, sorry, that needs to be clear. That doesn't mean you now woke agenda and stick up for Muslims and Sharia law in Australia. No, it doesn't. You still stick up for fight that fight and have that conversation openly and as intelligently as you can. Don't just go waving aggression and say F you to anyone that's trying to get these things clear. So all the social media influencers, get things a little more clear. Get the pointy message about this rally, because I see the rally saying anti-corruption. Well, good. Every Aussie patriot should go up against that and march in it They should also invite the lefties. They don't like corruption in the government either. These might have different policies on what to do with immigrants. Great. Have that on the table too. Don't forget it. But you can still get them to come and march against the corruption, the money that's in the government that directs who's doing what with what. So, please, have the discussion. Stop tearing down people that are sticking up for values in an articulate way. Don't just denigrate people for no good or no reason, nothing. Don't add nothing intelligent, just but abuse. Does nothing but detract from the movement of making good change, stepping in the right direction. So refrain. I know it's hard to take the high road, but it's the only way to go forward. Take the high road as an Aussie patriot. Stick up for your concerns. Well, it could be mass immigration, Sharia law, Muslim integration, not assimilating, all of that. Bring it to the table and talk about it. It does not mean you cannot say, hey, and also don't bomb those kids. Stop conflating any lefty as if they own the narrative on stop bombing those kids there. They don't. They're an ideological group. Not good. You can oppose them too. So guys, get this clear, and the sentiment coming back, the real emotional backlash for anyone saying a patriot shouldn't support bombing the children over there, and the people are going, oh, that means you support Muslims and you're ignorant to the Muslim intelligence and you're ignorant to massive. No, you're not ignorant to that. Pay more attention to what's going on in the States, what's going all across the globe. They're all talking about it. So more clarity, please.